Okay, so in the last part, we are going to create the medium and fine mesh, and these meshes will be based on these parameters. So here you can see that for medium mesh, I'm going to use the volume sizing of 0.025 and number of inflection layers would be the 10. So only changes I'm going to make is these two changes, and mesh will be refined in the regions where I want to. For example, in the boundary layer, and the overall mesh resolution in the whole volume will be also resolved. So let's do it. So first of all, go to the mesh and open up this outline, and then from the body thing, I put the size as a 0.025, and for inflation layers, put the number of layers equal to 10, and now click on generate. So in the pink color, this is showing us the old mesh, and in the yellow color, if there is any failure of the mesh, this will be shown there. And now display the mesh, and you can see that the mesh has been refined, and so the number of layers in the boundary layer for the inflation. Now you can see the number of nodes in this mesh are 56,133, while here I quoted the number of nodes in the medium mesh also 56,113 nodes here. And now I will go and save this file. In fact, what I'll do is that I will take it back from the inflation, let's say, to the 5, and also the body sizing I will be putting the 0.03 and generate. So the idea is that I would be saving the new container for my mesh file, and I put the name as the medium mesh. So right click here and duplicate. Yes, create the connection with the geometry. Again, another connection, another duplication with the geometry, and I will rename these cells. Let's say cell C1 as the cell C as the medium or medium mesh full name, and for this case I would put the name as the fine mesh or just fine. And now double click on the mesh here. Okay, so here is the coarse mesh, and after generating mesh, the number of nodes are slightly changed, 25,278, and close this application. And we have with us this medium mesh file, and from here I will change the settings for inflation, let's say, to the 10, and also for body sizing to the 0.025, and click on generate. And similarly, I would go for the last one, which is a D container here, and double click on the mesh, and this will again open the mesh with these settings. So right now we have this mesh with us, which is the medium mesh here, and the number of nodes here are 56,137, and they are slightly different than the which are quoted here, 56,113, and here number of nodes are the 137. So now I'll also close this container or this application, and now we work on the meshing for the fine case, and here number of inflation layers are 15, and for the body sizing the size is 0.02. So in this way we are creating 3 meshes, and in the next sections, in the Fluent and then CFD post, I will run these 3 cases with these 3 mesh settings, which are the medium, fine, and the coarse mesh. In the coarse mesh, number of nodes are around 25,000. In the medium mesh, number of nodes are around the order of the 50,000, and in the fine mesh, they are around 1 lakh plus few thousands. So I will run all three meshes with the same settings, the same boundary conditions, and I will confirm that the solution is not changing much with these meshes. So once I get the 2 meshes where the solution is not changing much, I would be stopping there, and I would use the mesh with the least number of nodes, so that I can save my compression resources. At the same time, I'm getting the same accuracy from the mesh. So here is the mesh with the fine settings. number of nodes are 1,15,014, and here I have quoted the 1,14,000. So 1,15,000 is almost same. So now save these settings. You can save the file, let's say, as a mixing elbow. And now from here I will create the container for the fluent, and I solve the one case on the medium mesh. And once I make all the settings in the fluent on the one case, like the boundary conditions, like the solution, even the iterations, once everything is solved and everything is stored in the one case, I will just copy that fluent file and remove the connection from the coarse mesh, and I will put for the second fluent container with this medium mesh, and third container with the fine mesh. And similarly, I will post process all these three cases. And also I'm going to create the another mesh, and I call this mesh as a very fine mesh. So the difference between these three meshes and very fine mesh is that in the very fine mesh, I have refined the region where the mixing is taking place. So I have created the body of influence, and also we have the sphere of influence, that is different thing. And I will also tell you difference between these two sections, these two commands in this section here, this video here. So this is the difference between these three meshes and the very fine mesh. So I just refined the mesh where the flow is mixing. So now good luck with the next section, which is on the fluent.